Is Durham's Football Digest, where we sink our teeth into a few bite-sized topics that haven't been mentioned elsewhere in the show. And first up, we're going to talk about David Moyes' decision to bring Mark Noble on for the penalty. So Man United won 2-1 at West Ham. It was a very dramatic ending to the game. Obviously, Lingard scores, kind of doesn't really want to celebrate. We understand why. Then they get a penalty, and Captain Mark Noble was brought on and missed it. Now, David Moyes brought him on to take the spot kick immediately after it was given, and despite the miss, Moyes defended his decision.
We got a penalty kick, and I've got one of the best penalty takers in the Premier League and also in Europe, so I think if I hadn't made the decision to do it, I would be more annoyed with myself. But it happens in management, you have to make decisions, and this one didn't go right today. He's got a great record, so why would we not? And we've missed a few recently, so I thought that while I get the chance to do so, I could bring Mark on.
Andy Townsend, Noble has got a great record taking penalties. So do you understand Moyes' mindset?
I can understand the mindset. David has done so much right at West Ham. He's been so good recently, I think, and I think he's transformed the side. I think they're outside of the big boys. They're such an exciting team to watch, West Ham. I've seen them a lot, and I've rarely come away from there disappointed. Rarely. I don't agree. I can't agree with that decision. I can't see that decision at all for the life of me. The walk that Mark Noble makes, right? Trust me, I've made the walk from the halfway line in a high pressure situation in a shootout to the penalty spot, and it's a long walk, and your mind is going here, there, and everywhere. The walk that Nobes has had to make at the weekend is even longer than that because of West Ham, because of where it is from the bench across the track, then all the way onto the field, then all the way out onto the. And all this time, we know it's pretty much the last kick of the game. I know he's got an amazing record, but you can never convince me that he is better placed to take that penalty than a Declan Rice, than an Aaron Cresswell, than somebody else out there that can strike a ball. That can strike. And I know that sounds stupid, that someone that's a clean, crisp striker of a ball. And I think Declan should have picked the ball up, stuck it under his arm, walked to the spot, before David Moyes has even finished talking to Mark Noble. That's what I think should have happened, right? Now, it's easy. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. It's so easy to pontificate with the benefit of hindsight. But, Aid, if I just don't understand, I couldn't see it in the summer with Gareth and the way that went on, and I don't see it now. I don't see how that's right. And by the way, if we're going to do that with outfield players, why don't we have an 8'4" goalkeeper sat on the bench who's hopeless, but we just sling him on when there's when your team concedes a penalty, right? And go out there and make the difference and make us up. I mean, is it coming to that now where we genuinely feel that someone who's been sat there watching all night long is better placed than someone who's out there involved?
The Dutch did do that, didn't they?
They did do it. Van Gaal did it.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I did advocate at the 2018 World Cup. You know Freddie Woodman, the Newcastle keeper?
Yep.
His penalty saving record is phenomenal, okay?
Right.
And I thought he should have been the third keeper in 2018, specifically for shootouts.
Yeah.
Because he's so remember Peter Shilton in 90? Yeah.
He never got near one, Schultz, did he?
And
Bez was on the
Dave
bench,
Besson, who could save a penalty, was on the bench.
Could you see Sir Bobby doing that? Could you see him taking the goalie off and saying to Bez, on you go? No chance. He wouldn't have done that because it would have...
Yeah, but would it have been a better decision? Because if you line up all the West Ham players in the squad, all of them that are available at that moment, and Mark Noble was available at that moment, and you've got to pick one of them, the best chance of scoring a penalty, you would pick Mark Noble. You would.
I wouldn't.
But you would.
No, I wouldn't, Aid, because he's not on the field.
Yeah, but he's the best penalty taker.
He hadn't even warmed up. He's hard. I mean, look, I'm sure Mark has been running up and down. But once you're in 90 plus minutes, right? He would have been sat, I'm sure he was probably sat there or just stretching off a little bit half thinking it's all done and dusted, it's all over, I'm not getting on, whatever. I would never, I just don't see how someone like him sat there is better placed to walk out there and take a pen than another player who's been involved in the thick of it, whose heart is pumping at a serious rate of knots. And by the way, we it's like we make out penalty taking is so incredibly difficult. It is so unbelievably hard. It is such a situation that requires the most ridiculous nerves of steel. It don't. It needs someone with a bit of confidence to put the ball on the spot as a Premier League footballer and just hit it hard and hit it true. And I would have thought Declan Rice more than capable of doing that.
Andy Townsend, what was your penalty record in your career?
I took a few. I didn't
Come
take
on.
them week in, week out. Oh, I've got no idea what it was.
Did you miss any?
No.
You never missed a penalty?
No, I didn't. No.
He never missed a penalty.
But I took them in penalty shootouts in World Cups. I took them in UEFA Cup games in penalty shootouts. I've took them in other cup competitions. I took them. And listen, nobody walks up to the spot thinking, I'm loving every second of this. I'm not expecting players to literally, pick the ball up, run up to the spot with a big smile on their face. It is a situation where you have more to lose than the goalkeeper, the fella that's striking the ball. David De Gea has a bad record as well, by the way.
Dreadful, yeah.
Dreadful record saving penalties. Even more of a reason to say to Declan Rice, or say anybody that's that, Yarmolenko, any of these guys, you're trying to tell me they can't put the ball on the spot and they wouldn't be in a slightly better physical and mental frame of mind than what Nobes was. And to be fair, once David asked Nobes to take it, he ain't going to say no. He's not going to turn around and go, no, I don't want it. Of course he's going to go out there and have a go because he's good at it.
But also the way he had his head in his hands afterwards kind of told me that, and I might be reading too much into it, but I looked at that and thought he knew that it wasn't a great decision. What I am reeling from is your 100% penalty record. David Moyes is on the phone. He just messaged me saying, can we sign Andy Townsend just so we can bring him on last minute to take a penalty? You don't need legs.
No.
You don't need to be fit. You don't need to run around.
No, but
you just sit in the middle of the park for a few seconds after you've taken the penalty.
It's not an easy situation. Mark Noble has proved himself very, very good at it over the years. I just don't see this introducing players at that particular time and expecting them to go out and do what they would do and have done previously when they've been playing.